Hey guys, it's Gabriel, Filipinos in the 6 North American Dream Tour. Today we're at West Covina, California, checking out Valerio's Tropical Bakery where it all started. So come with me, let's check it out, let's go.
My father and mother started everything. I remember my father is a baker and my mom is a sales lady at the bakery. I remember as a young boy, my father would always start very early in the morning, around 2 o'clock in the morning, make some dough, do some bicho, and then up to the work, up to the bakery he's working for. And my mom will do the frying of the bicho, and then the selling as well. From that point, we started our own bakery in very late 50s. Our first bakery is in Bakeshop, Cavite, and we stayed there for at least 6 years until we moved to Cavite City, and there the bakery started to grow really fast. My father is a very good baker, and my mother is a very good tactician, as you may call it. And then in 1979, they migrated to the US, and their first bakery is in Southern California, in National City. And then when my father passed away in 1988, I worked for a while for my mom's bakery, and then in 1994, I opened my very first bakery here in West Covina. Really start very hard because although a lot of people knows the Valerio's brand in San Diego, they don't have an idea. Although the bakery is pretty famous though, when I opened, we started a real slow, but in just a matter of a week, we started getting very busy. Most of the bread, my father started the recipe. And some of these I did together with my wife, Lenny. And then we started growing up, we started a branch in Vallejo, Carson. Most of it is in the Bay Area. Right now, we're probably about 18 bakeries. We are finishing up our bakery in New York. It's in Roosevelt in Queens. And then my daughter's bakery in Edmonton. This year, 2 bakeries coming up. So I'm just very glad you can drop by. You know, my father will always tell me to succeed in business, first, you need to treat your people, your employees properly. Treat them as your family because without them, you cannot make it. So make the employees happy and make the customers happy. The state of California gave us everything. We succeed in California. We first started in California. And people here in California, especially Filipinos, they are very welcoming, they are very appreciative. And in return, we are so happy about it. You know, Filipinos are really hardworking, I don't have to say. And I know Filipino who wanted to open business here in California will succeed.
If you were to branch out outside of the United States, Valerio's, what country would you open up Valerio's? If you had to pick one country.
I would say England.
Why England?
There's a lot of Filipinos there. We've been there, and they're really nice people there.
I remember I was only 3 years old when my dad first opened this bakery in West Covina. I was basically raised inside the bake shop. I would take naps, you know, in the back of the shop near the flour because my parents didn't have a babysitter. We were new to the Filipino community here in West Covina. We had a few customers and soon we grew to have more and more customers because they knew us as the place to get their hot pandesal. I remember having seen a lot of people, you know, in line just to get their bags of fresh hot pandesal.
So our original vision was to cater to the Filipino community. We want to share the recipes that our grandparents created back in Cavite City. We want to create the nostalgia back home for Filipinos living abroad.
The streets between Amar and Azusa, which is where we're at, it's considered Little Manila. This is considered to also be a Filipino hub for the community. It definitely helped us in that a lot of the other businesses around us were Filipino businesses. So we were up and coming, we were new, but people soon knew us to be the place to get their Filipino baked goods.
So our very first item sold would be the pandesal. It is a household staple for Filipino families. And we now create different varieties such as ube, wheat and cheese pandesal.
We introduced our other items on the menu by basically word of mouth. Back then, we didn't have a whole lot of social media. We weren't, on any of the marketing ads really, other than the newspapers and the local Filipino community news. Word of mouth definitely helped us, and having our loyal customers tell everyone in their families that this is the place to get not only their pandesal, but hopia, ensaymada, chicken empanadas, and other Filipino delicacies like our rice cake desserts. There were definitely challenges. Like I said, I think social media was not really present back in the day. Having us, gain word of mouth through our customers definitely helped us. Being able to be around the surrounding Filipino communities like Seafood City and some of the neighboring Filipino restaurants, they definitely helped us gain a broader customer base because of the whole Filipino community. In that sense, we were also able to establish other bakeries around Southern California and other areas that have a large Asian community, so that helped us as well.
We heavily rely on customer feedback to improve our products. Without the support, we wouldn't be where we are today. So we want to say thank you so much for our customers.
Turning point for us here at Valerio's was to observe, the lasting impact that we had in Filipino families and communities, to witness our generation growing up and hearing their stories of how their families would buy from us. They would tell us stories about basically how they would spend their Sundays after church, and they would come here to buy their pandesal because their parents or their grandparents would love to buy, our products to have at home and share with their families. So we knew that we were going to have a lasting impact with the Filipino community here, as well as other customers.
Me and my siblings basically all grew up watching, learning, and working in this location. The bakery means so much to us because of the memories growing up here. We got to see how much our parents worked hard, and we're very proud of them.
Our legacy here at Valerio's is basically to bring families together. Us being that we're a family business, we want to share our recipes that has been passed down from us from our grandparents, to be able to share with the Filipino families existing around this community, and to be able to share, with their loved ones, and to have those memories of back home in the Philippines, to remind them of what it's like, give them a piece and taste of the Philippines. That's what we're here to do with our baked goods and our desserts. So we just hope that everybody, not only here in the surrounding area, but throughout where we have our locations, are able to have that with their families and be able to share that.
If you could describe Valerio's in just 3 words, what would they be?
Also, pandesal.
Which item at Valerio's has the biggest cult following in California?
It's definitely pandesal. It has a cult following, and it's what we're known for.
True or false? The smell of fresh pandesal is a Filipino alarm clock.
I would say agree and disagree. Agree because pandesal is always good when it's hot, but our pandesal is always soft. So you can reheat it, you can freeze it, you could bring it anywhere you want, and you could add anything you want to it.
You're grabbing a late night snack. What Valerio items are you choosing?
Definitely chicken empanadas or our cheese rolls.
Finish the sentence. You're not Filipino if you haven't tried blank from Valerio.
Oh, that's easy. Pandesal.
Welcome to Valerio's West Covina!
Hi, my name is Abby, and welcome to Valerio's Tropical Bakeshop in Milpitas.
Which items have become fan favorites at the Bay Area location?
Pandesal and pandi-ube.
Can you share a memorable customer story from the Bay Area stores?
One of the customers told us she drove like 2 hours just to pick up Spanish bread for her father's birthday. She said it reminded him of his childhood in Manila and brought tears to his eyes. Moments like that remind us why we do what we do.
If the Bay Area could be described as a pastry, which Valerio's item would it be?
Of course, pande-ube. Yeah. It's bold and full of flavor.
What's the #1 pastry that disappears first every morning here?
Pandesal.
Desal.
True or false? Ube is the official color of the Bay Area's Filipino community.
True.
If you had to make a Golden Gate Bridge inspired pastry, what would it look like?
For me, it would be a layered pastry with a bold red glaze, maybe even shape
like arcades with ube and leche flan inside, a bridge between flavors.
Finish the sentence. No Bay Area merienda is complete without blank from Valerio.
Of course, Toron.
Rank these classics. Pandesal, ensaimada, hopia, cheese roll.
For me, of course, it's the pandesal, cheese roll, ensaimada, and then hopia.
Lightning order, 30 seconds. Name your ultimate Valerio's box.
My number one would definitely be cheese roll, ensaimada, empanada, turon, and the bicho bicho.
Truth or myth, real pandesal must be eaten within hours. Agree or disagree?
Disagree. You can eat pandesal anytime.
Valerio's is the best Filipino bakery in Canada!